Now on the CTV News at 5, a homicide investigation is underway in the town of Raymond. Plus, a touching and emotional tribute in Staveley, where 3 junior hockey players who died in a car accident last week were remembered. And the latest polling on how many Albertans would vote to separate if a referendum were held today.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. One man is dead and another injured after a shooting in Raymond in a back alley over the weekend. Carson Marsouk has more on the homicide investigation and how those in the southern Alberta town are feeling.
Damaged fences and bullet holes are all that remain at the scene of a shooting early Saturday morning in this Raymond back alley. Neighbors in the area who did not want to go on camera say they were awoken around 2:15 Saturday morning to the sounds of gunshots, people shouting, and vehicles speeding away.
The caller indicated that they heard about 20 pops and then a lot of yelling and screaming.
A few living along the street were the first to the scene, describing it as very bad and something they never want to see again. Something people in this town of 4,600 have never heard of before. Mounties from Raymond, Cardston, Pitcher Butte, along with Lethbridge Police, responded to the 300 block of 101st Street. Police say a 22-year-old man from Calgary was shot to death. Meanwhile, Lethbridge Police are investigating links to a 26-year-old man, also from Calgary, who showed up at the Chinook Regional Hospital with a gunshot injury shortly after the incident. Those living in the area say the crime scene stretched 3 properties from the back alley to the street, with officers investigating throughout Saturday. The bullet holes in the fence of what neighbors describe as a problem house, calling it a focal point of drug activity. A woman at the home wouldn't comment, and police would only say this incident is targeted and isolated.
Residents of Raymond can kind of rest easy knowing that it's not a big conflict taking place. And again, as it's isolated, this isn't something that happens every day. I've been involved in town council for 9 years as councillor and now mayor, and this is the first time we've had something like this to take place. So we definitely know this is the exception and not the norm for a community like the town of Raymond.
We're investigating all potential reasons why this happened, and it's too early to state that.
The investigation is ongoing, and RCMP are asking anyone with information to contact them or Crime Stoppers. Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Raymond.
Meanwhile, Coaldale RCMP are asking for the public's help locating a missing 66-year-old man. Al Vass left his residence Saturday at 7 p.m. in a black Ford Fusion with an Alberta license plate of RPC 099. Vass has not returned home, which is unusual behavior for him. RCMP are concerned for his well-being. Vass is described as having a dark complexion with brown eyes, balding gray hair, and glasses. He is 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. If you have any information on Vass's whereabouts, you're asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. And crews were busy cleaning up after a train and semi collided east of Lethbridge earlier today. Around noon, a Canadian Pacific Kansas City train collided with a semi-truck near Highway 3. Several packages spilled onto the roadway. No word of injuries or cause at this time. Well, Danielle Savoni joins us now, and that means it is time to talk about the forecast, and we have another warm week ahead, Danielle.
Yep, happy Monday to you. I got some good news for you on this Monday. If you like mild conditions, this is your week, because it's not going to be really, really hot. We're not looking at teen temperatures, but we are looking at those single digits, mid-single digits to high single digits for all of this week, and pretty quiet weather thanks to the jet stream being north of us. So it's pretty quiet out there. We just have mainly clear skies. Couple cloudy periods is what's in the forecast for the evening hours. Pincher Creek gusts around 43 kilometers per hour today, so we've had calm winds. They will pick up a little bit for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But for now, temperatures look like this: 7 in Pincher Creek and Lethbridge, 8 in Medicine Hat, and 9 in Brooks. Your full forecast coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A benefit hockey game was hosted last night for the 3 junior hockey players who were killed last week in a highway collision in southern Alberta. The players, families, teammates, and friends are continuing to grieve their losses, but say the outpouring of support has helped them carry their heartbreak. Tyson Fedor reports.
3 wooden crosses, the names of junior hockey players painted on them, stand together along Highway 2 near Stavely. Family, billets and friends were seen remembering J.J. Wright and Cameron Casorso of Kamloops and Caden Fine of Alabama, all killed in a crash last week.
Feels like a warm hug to be here during an awful time.
JJ's father, Chris Wright, says in the wake of his son's death, he understands why Stavely became home for JJ to live out his hockey dream.
Part of me is honestly afraid to go home. We can feel him here.
On Sunday, a benefit game in front of a packed Stavely Arena featured the Southern Alberta Mustangs and Stavely Spurs alumni team. Cameron Casorso's jersey hanging from the crossbar, his goal stick, mask and gloves positioned like they always were, ready for the next shot. Fine and Wright's stick and gloves also laid out on the ice, all part of a moment of silence ahead of puck drop.
The boys are hurting, but they're incredibly strong. We are taking things one day at a time to make sure they have the space and the support that they need.
The 3 were killed in a crash on their way to practice after colliding with a truck hauling gravel, but that driver is not at fault, according to RCMP.
There's a local truck driver
Yes.
that is shattered as well. They're going to drive by that memorial every single day.
As a billet family, the Dozmans hosted all 3 players.
These boys were special to all of us. And they will forever be remembered and loved by everyone.
Teammate Tyson Tozer also lived with them.
I shared a room with Caden, and there wasn't a day that went by where I didn't have a smile on my face because of that kid.
Caden Fine grew up in Alabama. He began playing hockey at age 9. He had several offers to play in his home country, but chose Stavely, nearly 3,700 kilometers away.
I'm going to miss seeing my son on the ice. Nicest kid off the ice, but when he strapped out, I mean, he was a beast, man. He wasn't going to take anything from anybody, and you messed with one of his buddies, and he was going to let you know it.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The Mustangs will resume their season on Saturday. A larger memorial is planned at a future date for the 3 players. So far, several ongoing fundraisers in the U.S. and Canada have raised tens of thousands of dollars for funeral and travel arrangements for the families. Fewer than 3 out of 10 Albertans say they would vote to separate if a referendum were held today. That's according to an Angus Reid Institute survey. Those who do want to leave say they want to break free from what they see as harmful federal policies and gain full control over Alberta's resources. They report being unconcerned about being landlocked without access to tidewater or the cost of replacing federal programs, infrastructure, and social services on the other side. Most Albertans say they would vote to stay, and the stakes are high. 3/4 of Albertans who would vote to stay say they would leave if the province of Alberta separated.
It might be 30% of the general population of Alberta, but it's probably closer to 50% of the voter coalition that Premier Danielle Smith presides over, which means that she has to pay much closer attention to those voices in favor of separatism, much closer attention to their grievances and their concerns. And I think much of that is what's shaping her public posture.
Anti-separatism rallies are being planned for Calgary, Edmonton, and Red Deer on the 21st. As we prepare to spring forward next month, Premier Danielle Smith says her government is actively discussing a referendum question on the time change. On her radio call-in show Saturday, Premier Danielle Smith said they are actively discussing if they should hold and bring forward this as a referendum question to the first end of the time change, and then the preference to stay on daylight or standard time.
Just think it's an outdated institution. I don't really know why we're still doing it.
I see like pitch black, like I don't want to go out. But then daylight saving time is like, wait, it's actually sunny now. That's like, I feel like for a slight like change to pay, just like change your clocks, I feel like it's worth it.
I don't really like it because it changes up my whole like circadian rhythm.
In 2021, Albertans cast ballots for a time change referendum. At the same time, they voted for the municipal election. Now, 50.2% chose to keep the time change, but the Premier says the wording of that question could have been more clear. A fundraiser to help bring cardiac care to Lethbridge is nearing its goal of $30 million. Chris Murray of Murray Auto Group made a $1 million donation earlier today, bringing the campaign's total up to $25 million. The Chinook Regional Hospital Foundation began the campaign 18 months ago with the goal of raising $30 million in 30 months. Southern Alberta has a 30% higher mortality rate from heart disease compared to anywhere else in the province. The Auto Group is celebrating its 100th anniversary and took the chance to support the community in a larger than normal way.
The fact that I gave $1 million today and we're that much closer, that's just part of the journey. I knew that this project would come to fruition sometime because of her. So
it's a pure reflection of what a movement this campaign has transformed into in our community. And at the end of the day, it's not about the dollar value, it's about the fact that every donation helps us get closer to the goal of saving lives.
The future cardiac care facility will include 2 cath labs along with dedicated cardiac CT and MRI imaging capacity. On the other side of this break, Danielle is back with the 5-day forecast. Plus, we look at how artificial intelligence technology is providing some groundbreaking developments in medicine.
All right, here's your sky cam from about an hour ago facing southwest. A decent amount of cloud cover from this angle. We also had some sunshine out there, especially for most communities in the far south, and that will continue for much of this week. There will be some cloudy periods at times, but we are looking at pretty stable weather. We need a lot of moisture. Definitely not in the forecast for this week. All right, looking at gusts today, max gusts in Pincher Creek, 43 kilometers per hour. Everywhere else, no gusts registered other than light wind in Banff gusting up to 30 kilometers per hour. This will pick up for tomorrow. We're looking at 60 kilometer per hour gusts for most communities, Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek, and then closer to about 44 Medicine Hat and Brooks. So a little bit on the windy side for tomorrow, but not excessively windy. All right, temperatures at this point, 5 in Pincher Creek, 7 in Lethbridge, 8 in Medicine Hat, 6 in Milk River. That's well above normal. A normal daytime high for this time of year is closer to -1, -2 in most areas in the far south. So yeah, above normal. It's very mild. We will continue to have these mild temperatures because we're basically in this pattern with the jet stream just off to the north. We're getting a decent warmer push of air from the south, and we're also getting that westerly flow for many days as well. All right, when we look at conditions, you can see it's mainly clear, but we do have some cloud cover out there closer to the Lethbridge area and closer to the U.S. border. So again, some cloudy periods at times, but we're also looking at a lot of stability and a lot of sunshine, which is why I'm not even going to pause this future cast. There's no point. There's nothing really to show you for this week in the far south. Just sunshine with the occasional time we have some cloudy periods. Okay, East Kootenay area -3 tonight, fog patches continuing into tomorrow morning. In the morning, the wind chill will be -5. And then in the afternoon, a high of +4 with a mix of sun and cloud. Crozes Pass -2 overnight, gusting 50 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour. High of 7 for tomorrow with mainly sunny skies. Medicine Hat -5 tonight with a wind chill of -11, which is what your wind chill will be in the morning hours, -10, -11 when you're off to work and school. In the afternoon, especially gusts 40 kilometers per hour. That would get us up to a high of 7 though for tomorrow with mainly sunny skies as well. And mainly sunny skies for Lethbridge for the next few days. A high of 9 for tomorrow, gusts around 40 kilometers per hour. 7 for Wednesday. Likely we'll get just barely, but we should get into the double digits for Thursday. That will be the warmest day of the next 5, and then we start to get somewhat closer to normal by the end of the weekend. Saturday, though, still holding on to those mid-single digits, but by Sunday we'll be closer to that freezing mark, and then temperatures will not be quite as warm after that to what we've had this week.
Prostate cancer patients in Canada could soon move through treatment much more quickly and be exposed to even less radiation. It's thanks to artificial intelligence. CTV's Andrew Johnson on the new clinical trial in British Columbia and how AI is already making a difference overseas.
When 76-year-old Mike Miles was diagnosed with prostate cancer, he wasn't sure what to expect.
The healthcare system is overwhelmed, particularly with older folks like me.
Low to medium risk patients like Miles used to face a grueling regimen of 20 to 40 radiation treatments over 2 months. Newer technology has reduced that to only 5. Now, the BC Cancer Clinic in Victoria is taking things one step further in a new trial with the help of AI.
We have an industry partner that we have worked with to develop this AI-powered algorithm that helps us to aim the radiation beams more accurately than we could before.
The goal, reduce side effects and deliver effective treatment with only 2 doses.
We can get people in and out in just 2 treatments. I mean, that's just fantastic.
From a patient's perspective, it's an absolute piece of cake.
The accelerated process also allows more patients to access care more quickly.
Being able to do 2 treatments rather than 5 or 40 means that BC Cancer can process many, many more people in a timely manner.
If the 2-year trial is successful, there's hope the technology can be used to treat other types of cancer. According to one new study, artificial intelligence is already helping doctors around the world spot more cases of breast cancer. A trial involving more than 100,000 Swedish women receiving routine breast cancer scans showed a single radiologist, assisted by AI, detected 9% more cancer cases than 2 radiologists working together.
The study's authors conclude widely rolling out AI-supported mammography breast cancer screening programs would be a win-win to both reduce workload for radiologists and detect more cancers at an early stage. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The union representing thousands of frontline hospital workers in Alberta says its new collective agreement with the province has been ratified. The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees says the deal ensures 27,000 hospital support staff earn living wages by April of 2027. Highlights include a 12% pay increase retroactive to April of 2024 and a 2% long service wage increase for staff with more than 20 years of service. The union's president says the contract recognizes the vital work members do, and Finance Minister Nate Horner says it provides workers fair compensation. In November, a deal was reached with more than 16,000 nursing care staff just minutes before they were set to strike. And we do have an update for you from Coaldale RCMP. They say Al Vass, who was reported missing, has now been safely located. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. Canada has scored its 2nd medal of the 2026 Winter Games. Sports is next. Welcome back. The Lethbridge Hurricanes, they were on the road this weekend to wrap up a 3-game road trip. On Friday, the Canes were in Prince Albert to take on the Raiders. It would be a tough test for the Canes, and they would drop a 6-0 decision to PA. On Saturday, the team was in Saskatoon for a tilt against the Blades. The Canes would come out with a victory and end their 3-game losing skid. Medicine Hat Tigers had a home-and-home against the Swift Current Broncos this past weekend. Friday, the Tigers were in Speedy Creek, where they handed the Broncos a 2-1 win. On Saturday, the Tigers came out to play against the Broncos, and this time taking an 8-1 win. Over in the BCHL, it was a light weekend for the Brooks Bandits with only 1 game on the schedule. Bandits hit the road to Okotoks on Friday night for a matchup against the Oilers. It was a dominant showing for the Bandits as they'd skate away with a 6-3 win. The team is back in action Wednesday when they host the Sherwood Park Crusaders. And the Cranbrook Bucks hosted the Salmon Arm Silverbacks for a pair of games at Western Financial Place. On Friday, the Bucks took a 5-1 win over the Silverbacks. Both teams hit the ice again on Saturday for a rematch, and this time going in favor of the Silverbacks as they take a 42 win. To the Olympics, where a 2nd bronze medal for Canada today at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Megan Oldham from Ontario had an impressive rebound in free ski slope style. Call it a redemption Olympics for the 23-year-old. CTV Scott Hurst reports.
This thing is really heavy. I think it's beautiful.
Canada's Megan Oldham is already loving life as an Olympic medalist. The 24-year-old from Parry Sound, Ontario, north of Toronto, soared to new heights on the biggest stage. With skis raised and medals around their necks, the top 3 making sure they got a podium selfie to freeze the moment in time.
Oh, I feel incredible. It still feels a bit like a dream.
Bronze in women's ski slope style and redemption for finishing just off the podium in big air at the Beijing Games 4 years ago. An Olympic accomplishment Oldham will never forget.
I'm so proud of myself for putting a run down and being able to get up on the podium and bring home a bronze for Canada.
Quebec's Naomi Ernest, who finished 7th in the ski slopestyle final, says it's an inspiration to watch her teammate on the podium.
Definitely seeing her success here really inspires me, and I'm so happy for her, and hopefully I can do the same one day or maybe in 4 years.
Expect to see both women compete in the big air competition as well later in the week. It was a close call for Quebec City's Beatrice Lamarche in the women's 1,000-meter speed skating final. The 27-year-old in her first Olympics was in the bronze medal position watching the final pair of skaters. Ultimately, the second-generation Olympian was bumped down to fifth, less than 1 second off the podium. Canada's medal count is now 2 as the first full week of competition is well underway. Bronze for Valerie Malte in long track speed skating, and now bronze for Megan Oldham in ski slopestyle. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And they bring a pressure as well, and May got it knocked out as Witherspoon came under pressure, and Uchenna Nwosu is going the distance for a touchdown.
The Seahawks' top-ranked defense leading Seattle to a 29-13 win over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. The win also marks an incredible comeback for Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold. He was a high draft pick in 2018, but struggled to find his groove and was then labeled a bust. Well, he is now the first QB in his draft class to win the Super Bowl. This was Seattle's second Super Bowl win. When you're learning a new sport, it can be pretty hard to keep all of the rules top of mind.
Love me, oh baby, love me.
Well, this toddler runs the whole length of the basketball court to get the basket. He shoots and he scores. Nothing but net. Lucky for him, no one called him out for traveling. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, showing support for an Alberta Olympian when we come back. Three Calgarians competed in women's ski jumping at the Winter Olympics Saturday, and one of them had a big hometown crowd connected to her workplace. Clutching Canadian flags, they watched as ski jumper Nicole Moyer made her Olympic debut in Italy. Residents and staff at this United Active Living facility held a watch party to support the Calgary athlete. Moyer works for United Active Living and recently visited each location to talk about her Olympic journey.
It's impressive. She spoke here a couple months ago, so it made a real nice connection.
The pride. It doesn't matter if they win gold. It's just a matter that they've made it that far.
It was nice to see them into the finals.
Abigail Strait finished 11th, Moyer in 19th, and Natalie Ehlers 49th in the women's normal hill ski jumping. They compete again on the large hill February the 15th. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.